All right, Paul Hefty here with the Triangle O football system. Want to go over our O-line blocking, and as you can see, we've separated into 4 different blocking families. Key point, the O-line must recognize and then communicate the front at the start of every play. So the center will call out those fronts. Again, there's 3 types, 3 calls: even, guards are covered; odd, guards are uncovered; and TNT when the center and the guards are covered. For defensive recognition, everything kind of evolves from a 43. That helps keep it simple. And I'll quickly go into the 4 different families: zone, inside gap, outside gap, and pass pro. And then you'll see there'll be more detailed individual video clinics on each of the families on the website. All right, one way we want to keep things simple is we're going to separate the blocking schemes into 4 concepts or families here. So here's a look at it. On the left, you'll see the blocking families. Like I said, zone, inside gap, outside gap, and pass pro. Then to the right of that are the different schemes, and then the RPO routes with that, and then last, the RPO themes. Again, with our install, we like to do a 3x3 compartmentalize the learning. So phase 1, we'll use 1 blocking family paired with that RPO routes. And then the next part of practice, we'll go into our pass pro, but usually then there is overlapping pass pro and run blocking schemes here. And then phase 3 is where we'll actually do both of those and getting reps of it. So you can see the different examples of ways to use the different families, but simplify it and compartmentalize it in the learning. All right, our first one here, if the zone family is a split zone or inside zone. This is the way this will be set up all the way through. The rules, techniques, and the calls are in the middle there. And then on the left-hand column is the even fronts, and on the right-hand side then against odd fronts. Rule for split zone is going to be an all tight reach, and we're going to use a technique where we're going to slide step with our play side foot towards and then get that second step down for our push. We're working double teams here, so the call is Izzy and would be left or right. Here's an example of Penn State running it. This would be split zone to the right. It is a cutback play, so you're going to see the back go right up the gut. His aiming point is right at the center, but his out is to cut back. So we're calling this Izzy right for the O-line, but you'll see the cut back to the left.
Barkley breaks it up. Barkley's going to get a block. McSorley in front of him. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
All right, here is our swipe and stretch or outside zone blocking schemes here. Again, we're going to use what's called a far reach technique, meaning we're going to go ahead and reach with our backside hand and far reach to that play side gap now. And we'll all slide toward, far reach to the play side gap. The call here now is Ozzie left or Ozzie right. Real simple. Here's Kansas City Chiefs running this outside zone. You're going to see them run this to the right. This would be an Ozzie right, all far reaching there, and we're off. This is an RPO, a Mickey RPO, where we're going to replace Mike and Will, either scraping or filling hard play side. So you're going to see them all reach right. And there's the Mickey throw. All right, next one is A-gap power. This is the next family, inside gap blocking. What we want to do here is the rule is we're going to call what we call big to back rule, meaning the play side tackle and the play side guard will, if they're covered, they will go man on man. That's our big call. If they're uncovered, then they're going to block back on a double team. And you can see we use a driver call and a climber call with that. The backside guard is always going to do a square, skip, and pull and lead up on the Mike backer, so the center has to block back if that guard is covered. And the backside tackle locks up. So you can see the different calls on the left, even, and on the right, odd fronts. It's a man scheme, big to back technique. Now, when we get into inside gap versus defensive fronts, the exceptions here to the rule is a under 52 or a TNT 52 front. So if you look down on the bottom, the way we adjust this, because we've got technically 5 defenders on the line of scrimmage, D linemen with our 5 blockers now. And so what we want to be able to do is using our exceptions to the call where we're going to go back, back, back. Everybody's going to block back. There's no double teams. And instead of reading the Sam backer, we will read the Will backer. So here's video of it being run to the left. Again, real simple here. We're going to have that H back, J block, and the right guard is going to square, skip, pull. Again, it is an RPO, so we get an extra filler in the box, and we hit the receiver on the slant. Another inside gap family scheme is a counter tray. Again, what happens with this is the H-back will lead, and the backside up on the Mike backer, and the backside guard will kick out that defensive end first. So we rule here as inside gap to inside backer rule. We're basically going to block your inside gap if it's covered. If not, you'll go back up to the linebacker. Here again, the play side guard now is going to use a short trap technique and go ahead and kick out that defensive end. And the H-back will do what we call as a bomb block on the Mike leading up through the hole. Again, the exceptions are the 52 at the bottom and the 52 TNT. We use our same back call because everybody's solo. And we'll read the Will backer now with the RPO. Here is inside gap counter tray. You're going to see motion, so it'll come back to the right. This is Alabama running.
We encourage them to put something good on tape. The NFL will find you, believe me.
1st and 15. Scarborough, big opening off the right side.
You'll see it from behind. Again, down blocks. Block your inside gap to the backside backer. Guard's going to pull, kick out the defensive end, and the H-back will bomb block. Going to pull and block on the Mike. Another inside gap scheme to that inside gap family is what we call a tag counter tray. All this does is tag means it's going to be the tackle and the guard now pulling. So the H will fill and seal that defensive end for the pulling tackle. The guard will still kick out the defensive end, but now the tackle will lead up on the Mike. Here's an example of Oregon run it. You're going to see tag counter tray to the left. So the right side tackle and guard will pull with the guard kicking and the tackle leading up through the hole. Another inside gap scheme to that family is a blast, and it's a counter blast we like to do with it. The rule here is big to back rule again, so there's no pullers on the line. It's an old school ISO with the H, again, bomb blocking and leading up on the Mike. Here's Penn State running this. You're going to see running this to the right. All right, third family now is outside gap. This is outside run with a man scheme and classic pin and pull sweep. Uh, Again, real simple is if you are covered, you're going to be big. If you are uncovered, you're a puller. So we'll just use you, me calls. Me is the call for the puller, and you is the call for the pinner. Real simple. Here's an example of Alabama running this to the right. Along with the outside gap family number 3, we go ahead and use our waggle pass pro because it is exactly the same rules as our pin and pull sweep. So again, we'll use the buck sweep, pin and pull, covered, uncovered, and still use our you-me calls. One key point though is when you are running this towards the H back, the tackle has to know that the H is going to free release and is not part of the pin and pull blocking scheme. Here's an example of it being run by our 9th grade, and you'll see it run to the right. All right, the last and the 4th family then is our pass pro, and we use as our pocket pass a half slide pass pro. It's a 6-man protection out of the 1 back. The rule here is real simple. The front side or call side tackle is in a man scheme. So he's going to be big if he's covered to fanning out to that defensive end. The play side guard then, if he is covered, is big and he's in a man scheme. But now, if he's uncovered, he will go back, big to back, and join the rest, the center, the backside guard, and the backside tackle will all slide back and be in a zone principle. The running back has the double check, always checking the Mike inside backer first to the sandbacker pocket protection. So real simple. Bigger fan is the calls, and then slide back, and the running back is inside out. With our sprint out pass protection, this is where we get the overlapping. We're going to use our stretch zone blocking technique, far reach, and all the same calls. We just add to the Aussie, we add Aussie Pro, makes it pass protection, staying on the line of scrimmage. With our screen pass pro, we use one blocking scheme, just change the timing of it. With all of our screens, the tackles will be big on big or lock on their defensive ends. The guards are the pullers and the center is a puller. So the play side guard will pull flat, a J path to the number 2 defender from the outside. The center will pull flat to the sandbacker, and the backside guard pulls flat and J path to the Mike. So again, tackles are just going to use lock calls, and then center guards center are all just going to say me, 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 left or right, so we know which way we're pulling. Last is just a template here that you can use to use as a workbook. I would really suggest you have your players and you as a staff go through and diagram these. Again, most of us are tactile learners, so if we feel it and do it, we have a better chance of it sticking with us. Thanks.